Good Sunday morning to you from nukethehouse.com and MTH Sports Picks. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the NFL pregame breakdowns and matchups here for Sunday, November 30th. We're getting ready for a great NFL sports betting day. I've just spent the last several minutes punching in a bunch of underdog parlays, and I'm serious. I mean, why not? I mean, the underdogs came through, of course, on Thanksgiving, and why wouldn't they continue here a little bit on Sunday? I mean, I'm just finding every which way any dog I think has a chance. I'm kind of punching in some money line parlays on some of these dogs, even if it kind of goes against maybe some of the things that I was looking for. Any underdog with a chance today, I might have a little bit of something on them here. A lot of round robins here, maybe some 4 or 5 teamers with some of these underdogs here today, especially these home dogs. Look, it looks like it's going to be an underdog Sunday. It already was an underdog day here coming into the week, and I think that's going to continue here today. Hey, thank you for joining me here on Nuke the House, and the guys will be with you here at the top of the hour with the coverage as well. Get you all the way through the action here on Sunday in the National Football League. Got a nice 10-game card as far as the morning and afternoon. Morning here, of course, in Las Vegas to lead up to Sunday Night Football, and I'll be here right until just about the top of the hour getting ready for the action. I'd love to hear from you in the chat as well. Hey, everyone, don't forget over at nukethehouse.com, we've got some great handicappers here, great team of cappers, of course, who definitely come through with big-time numbers here this season in the units count, and you can get our best bets over at nukethehouse.com, NTH Sports Picks. Our team of bettors is pretty hot, and Keg's having a monster year, and the guys do a great job, so make sure you're with us at Nuke the House. Hey, I've got my college basketball plays up here, or college football plays, should be my college basketball plays the way I'm going here right now, but don't miss our bets here at Nuke the House. We live bet every game during the NFL season as well. The show's coming up here with the guys at the top of the hour, and when they post the plays up, Keg's got his top props here for the action today, so make sure you join us at nukethehouse.com. Use the promo code Nuke Ramon here for a special discount, or you can visit nukethehouse.com, sign up for any plan. We won't charge you unless you want to be charged. Nuke the House for one free week. Come join the winners here at Nuke the House. Let's get started with the action here today. We've got a half an hour. We got 10 games to go, so let's take a look at the action here today in the NFL. Started off with Houston at Indianapolis here in this one. You got current line here. Another Texans on the road here against the Colts. This one you might throw into a little bit of your money line parlay, but I kind of am on the Colts here. This one to cover. Just that I do think that the Texans are live here. Certainly, C.J. Stroud back in there this week. What happened? Winning wasn't good enough for you with when they had to switch here and go to Davis Mills there for a few weeks. All he did was win 3 in a row. And for the Colts here, Danny Dimes, I got to play with a broken leg. I guess I'll just tape it up, put a stick there, and he can just limp around. Anybody saw him this week and taking those snaps in practice? Looked a little looked a little goopy in there, didn't he? Kind of wasn't moving too well, but we'll see if he can get it done here. I do like the Colts here in this game, and I'm probably going to go over in this one. The total's dropped here to 44.5 in this one, and I think the Colts can get a little bit healthy here. Yeah, the Texans are playing well. They've got a good defense. I know it feels like the Colts are kind of the unpopular choice here. Maybe I should say more of the Texans might be the public side here a little bit in this game, but I'm going to come back here on the Colts and figure they can solve things a little bit here for a week, pick up a win, and beat the Texans. Look, I'm not down on C.J. Stroud. In fact, if anything, I'm kind of the guy who kind of rah-rahs C.J. Stroud a little bit. But, man, the momentum was good with Davis Mills, and I guess you don't lose it. look, I guess if I had to line the two quarterbacks up, I'd probably be in favor of taking, C.J. Stroud over Davis Mills. After all, Davis Mills lost all those games for the Texans over the years, but they just started to put it together here, and they're going to go back to Stroud on the road. But hey, it's his job really, and Houston was able to get wins over Jacksonville, Tennessee, and Buffalo. The Colts, meanwhile, of course, coming off a couple of losses here, two of the last three anyway. They did beat Atlanta in there today, but I'm going to go with the over here in this one, and I'm going to take the Colts here today. I think the Colts probably take this one probably somewhere. I'm going to say probably somewhere in the 20. Maybe 27 to 21 range. I think that might be a little bit high scoring. I think that's actually an over there, but maybe how about 24 to 19 there. I think the Colts take this one, get back and get a win here. They need it right now, and after struggling here a little bit, still a good record for the Colts overall this season at 8-3. After all, and hey, Houston needs it too, so they'll be live in this one. I just think the Colts will end up taking care of it, and I think they'll get the money, actually. I'm going to take the Colts here and the over. I'm sorry, I think I said Colts and the way I described it, Colts and under, but I'm going to take Colts and over. So let's bump that score up here a little bit. Let's call it 27 to 21 in favor of the Colts today. That gets us home with the Colts and an over. Give me the Colts and the over in that one. Yeah, I want to hear from you guys in the chat. I want to post your comments here if you have any here today on the NFL games, or if you have any questions as well. Keep moving along here right now. Take a look at the Cardinals taking on the Buccaneers here with Tampa Bay favored in this one. Tampa is a favorite of 4 now here over the Cardinals. So look, it went down from maybe an opener of 6 all the way down to 3.5, but we're starting to see a little bit of more money coming back on the Buccaneers right now. In fact, I'm showing DraftKings back up to 4.5. Here right now, and I think the Buccaneers are going to get a blowout win. They're on 3 straight losses here right now. In fact, both teams have lost 3 straight games. We know the Cardinals here have some issues. Now, Bam Knight is in the lineup here for Arizona today, but they're missing some other backs. DeMercado is out as well. Harrison does return for the Cardinals here as Brissett in at quarterback. Baker Mayfield has a bum shoulder here right now, but he also probably can have a pretty good game against this Cardinals defense, I think, here. I think the Buccaneers might put up a number on these two teams. Now, the total has dropped here somewhat dramatically. It opened, some of the books opened it pretty high. Some of the books had the send out here of 49 or 50 in that one. I actually think the score might even end up in that range here actually today. And I think the Buccaneers do get this one. I'm going to take them somewhere in the 28 to 21 range here. I like the Buccaneers to win and cover against the Cardinals here today and kind of get back on the way here to a division title. Yeah, Carolina's been threatening them here a little bit, but the Buccaneers still have the upper hand in the playoffs right now as far as getting clear of Carolina. It's going to be one of those two teams, and nobody's getting a wild card from this division. So the Bucs know they just got to outlast the Panthers here eventually. As good of a season it's been. We'll talk about the Panthers in just a moment, but I'm going to take the Buccaneers in this one to get the win and the cover, get back healthy here a little bit. This one, I don't know. I'm trying to talk about all the underdogs, and I haven't mentioned any yet. And look, the Cardinals might even be one you could put in there a couple times as well in the parlays. Again, I'm just kind of randomizing things when it comes to those parlays. I'm not going crazy and losing a bunch of money, but I don't mind looking at a bunch of teams here, putting in some 5 or 6 teamers for, even 5 or 10. But I mean, you put in a $5 6-teamer on some of these dogs, and it's going to pay like $3,000 if you put the right combination in there. So I'm thinking this weekend, I don't know which ones they are. Wish we did in the NFL, but I'm just putting a bunch out there. I'm not wasting a lot of money, but I'm going for some home runs on some underdog parlays tied into some even in the late game tonight with the Commanders. And see if I have any live at that time, and see how it goes, or maybe even into the afternoon, even into the 3 games in the afternoon. All right, I've got the Buccaneers here, 28-21, somewhere right around there. They get it done in an over. Next up, the Jaguars and the Titans. I mean, this is prime for me. Look, the Titans are awful. We know that, but they've been covering some spreads here of late. They're due for a win. Who else to get it against other than the uh, imposter, the Jacksonville Jaguars? Now, look, the Jaguars can probably win this game too, but I'm going to take the points here as my official play here on the Nuke House channel. Like it, Tennessee and under here. Yeah, Tennessee's on a massive losing streak. I get that. Jacksonville's actually won two in a row here right now. We get a division game against a hungry team. You know, the Jacksonville Jaguars can. Maybe they are just a little bit above some of those Jacksonville teams that kind of don't have some of those great games now and then when they go on the road here. So, look, this one might end up being a struggle. It's going to be chilly, certainly in Nashville here. The weather's an issue in some games here, not so much here as far as poor weather conditions are concerned, but it is going to be cold. That's for sure here in this one. Not that that makes any difference, but when you're going up against a Jacksonville, a team here for Tennessee that I think they can pass the ball, and we'll see. You know, I saw the inactives come out, and yeah, the Tennessee Titans are a little bit. Their hands are a little bit tied, a little bit offensively with some of these guys, but I believe they said Iomanor is in the game, and with DK looking pretty good here of late, I think they have a chance here to possibly spring an upset. I'm actually going to take the Titans here to at least get the cover in this one, and I think maybe the low-scoring game is in order between these two teams. So, look, I think the Jaguars can win. I think it's probably going to be pretty low score. I'm going to say somewhere in the 20 to 17 range. It could be 20 to 19 here. Just could be very, very close. The Titans could end up hanging in there finally in this one. Get them another win. Can Cam Ward do it? We're not giving up on Cam Ward. I mean, there's enough promise in there. I know sometimes these rookie quarterbacks, you want to kick them out and replace them. We've done that with some of the teams a little bit, but Cam Ward, there's enough promise in there. Yeah, 1 minute he looks like he's in the football follies, and then he shows up with a play that looks like plays that other quarterbacks can't make in this league. So you're going to just continue to work with this guy. The season's shot, so you're going to keep on trying Ward here in his moments of brilliance anyway. And I think the Titans are going to hang in there in this one for sure. I've got it around 20 to 17. I'm going to say with the Jaguars here today. Hey, we already got over 4 dozen of you here lined up. I'd love to hear from you in the chat. Hopefully you enjoy this show, and let me know in the chat. And hey, maybe they'll bring me back next year. Holden will be back with me next week here on the preview show. Let's keep it going now with the Rams taking on the Panthers here. I don't know if this is one you can necessarily throw into your underdog. I'm definitely going to have them in one or two of them certainly here against the Rams, but the Rams look every part of the Super Bowl team here. It feels like right now, even against some of these other NFC teams, outside of probably the Packers right now, all the NFC teams have flaws here. It feels like right now, right, with the Eagles not playing so great. The Lions have their share of problems. The Bears are, looking great, up and coming, but I don't know if we've necessarily put them over the hump here just yet against teams like the Rams. Here you can find faults in all these other NFC teams. Like I said, the Packers have been pretty solid, but they don't have the explosiveness maybe of the Rams, and this defense of the Rams is looking so solid here. I really think this could be the one blowout that we get today from a road favorite. It's just that the Rams do have some issues traveling cross country. They've proven that over the years. This one I'm feeling a little maybe less confident in, but like I said, I still want to sprinkle a little bit of money line somewhere in there with these parlays. But honestly, I got to think the Rams here kind of take care of business here in this one and end up probably crushing here. I'm going to say somewhere in the range of 27 to 14 today. Rams really batting down on the Panthers here in this one and get it done just because the Rams defense has kind of been so solid. We've seen the Panthers here. Look, this has been a great season, and the Panthers have continued on to say say they fall short of the Buccaneers. Maybe they finish 8-9. That's still going to be a pretty good record for the Panthers this season. I think they've made a lot of progress, and there is hope in the future as long as they keep this program together a little bit. It feels like as far as their future is concerned. Now it's really tough to run against the Rams. So Dowdle and Hubbard. I think that's what really makes it tough. If they can get it going, it'll be great. But Bryce Young might be under pressure here, and look, Ted McMillan, he had a rough game last week. I hope it's not a sign of things to come because really love him. And Xavier Legette, also good game. He, is kind of stepping up, but whether or not he can have something going here against this Rams defense right now. So I've got this one, probably one of the few blowouts here. I'm going to think the Rams can take them down pretty convincingly the way they're going. But again, you got that cross-country trip, always a tough. They say they've almost like doubled down and said, you know what, it's not. And you listen to some really sharp experts who really follow that stuff that say, you know what, it really isn't there. The disadvantage of West Coast teams traveling east. Maybe the stats show that, but we've seen it enough times. I just think what happens is that a lot of teams like this, like the Rams, can go across and do the job. Not saying that they won't be the ones that end up losing, but I think whereas some teams do get the job done in the West traveling to the East, I think there's just so many games where it stands out that the West Coast team looks so poorly and gets blown out that we kind of say a lot of times. And I think that's true. I think the times that they do lose, they end up getting blown out so much and it looks bad. And yet we do have some good teams that can maybe get it done as well. So, all right, I'll move on here, though. Enough about that. How about Saints and the Dolphins? Yeah, I got to have the Saints here on some of these underdog parlays today for sure. Now, the 49ers may be able to get this one done, but they'll be lucky here to do it. This total's dropped here a little bit down to 41.5. I think the Saints, this defense can do a pretty good job. I still think it might go over here. I expect a little bit of production here from Tyler Shuck. I think we're seeing improvement. I think that, look, no Alvin Kamara. That is a problem today, but watch out for Devin Neal. He had the good game, and look at Shuck. He passed the ball to Devin Neal 5 times. He had 7 targets out of the backfield last week, and he's going to be sneaky here today. Devin Neal is someone I want to look to his props here actually in this game, and you're obviously going to see Audric Estime here, I think, getting his debut here, I think, this season. So watch out for Estime. I don't know if we can get any good props on him, but Olave was questionable, but he is active here, and he can have a big day. This is where the Dolphins have so many problems, and Devon Bailey as well. And you get into Jawan Johnson. The Dolphins have defensive issues, and I think the Saints are actually going to look well above their average offensive production here today, and I like what the defense is doing here as well. So the Saints are someone that's going to be in a lot of my underdog parlays today. The Dolphins may be able to eke this one out. The spreads are definitely moved in kind of the Saints' favor here. The Dolphins opened up as high as 4.5 or 5. I guess it's still around there. In fact, I see them up to 5.5 again now. So good. Keep putting the money in there on the Dolphins. Put them up to back to 6. I don't care. I want to take the Saints. I want to sprinkle the money line here in this one. Look, we'll give the Dolphins the nod, I think, with the win here today. I'm going to say Dolphins get the win, but I think it's close, man. I think it's real close. I'm going to say somewhere in the range here today, Dolphins. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We'll give them a win, okay? 24-21. That gets the Saints home in and over, but I think the Saints here are live to win in this one. And I'll be putting them in some money line parlays. Come on, Saints. Show these Dolphins here that they're kind of an imposter here right now. Look, Dolphins are 4-7. They're not any good here at this point. Like I said, I'm the big McDaniel honk here. I think they should keep him. Actually, I think they try to keep this guy in there. I think he is a very good coach. I think he gets a bad rap. But also, I think Dennis Allen here probably gets another chance here with the Saints moving forward. I don't think they'll fire him after this year, but we'll see. But I think they could get a win here today, and that'll help his chances. All right, got another next up here in the afternoon in the early card with the Falcons taking on the Jets here. And hey, here's another one. Why not? The Jets got to be in all the money line parlays here in this one. I think they'll win this game actually against the Falcons here today. The Falcons are the favorite here, and they're moving up here a little bit, favored by 3 total. 38 in this one. It's going to be cold, but I think it's going to be relatively clear here. Talk about some of the uh, 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 weather here. You know what? Now that I see the AccuWeather update here, yeah, 50% chance or higher of rain here. Good. You got more randomness. That's what you want in this game. The Jets can beat the Falcons here for sure today at home. Brees Hall's going to have a huge game. I'll be involved in all the Hall props here. It feels like to me. Look, Bijan here can have a very successful day as well, I guess, here. But I think this one, the weather may be a bit of a factor here. It might be a total grind by the end, and even 38 right now or whatever the total is. Let me take a look here right now. Currently, yeah, down to 38. We're looking. It's gonna feels like an under here with these two teams and the offenses with Cousins out there on the road. I really would rather have him at home. Maybe people will gravitate to Cousins going up against Ty God here. I kind of wish Fields was in there, but they're going with Ty God here today, and that's fine too. I still want to take the Jets in this game, in this role, and I think they can beat the Falcons here today. Probably a low scoring game here. I think the Jets win an ugly one, probably somewhere in 19 to 17 range today. I'm going to take the Jets to squeeze out a win here over the Falcons and make sure you have them in all your money line part. Not all of them. You want to mix them up there in case more round robins, 2-teamers, 3-teamers, 4-teamers, and maybe a 5-teamer or a 6-teamer in there. Mix them all up. I promise you, if you get half of them home, you'll be making money here with the money line parlays today on upset weekend, I think is what we'll call it here. We've already seen it happen right on Thursday. So keep it rolling with these underdogs. Let me give you another one here. You know what's coming. The Browns are at home against the 49ers here with Shadur Sanders. Look, I have not talked up Shadur Sanders. I have had questions. I've played along. Why isn't Shadur in there? I mean, he's in there now, and they're probably not turning back. It feels like at this point it's going to be for him to prove to everyone that he is who he thinks he is. And hey, I'm down with it. I'm on the Browns here to at least cover the spread, but got to be involved in those money line parlays here. The story of this game is the weather. So anytime you got the 49ers, look, they've gone away from Mac. Gone to Purdy. Purdy got sacked, crunched, beat up, and everything. In cold weather, I'd rather have Mac Jones in bad weather than Brock Purdy. Your Brock Purdy's from Arizona. Mac Jones, we know he's not a cold weather quarterback necessarily, but he spent all those times in New England. I'd rather have Mac Jones in here actually in this game. And I think Cleveland hangs in here for sure. It's going to be a low scoring game. The total's down here to 35 because the winds are the problem. And they always say, hey, there can be rain, there can be snow, but you don't want that wind. And that's what you got here today. So I'd like the Browns to hang in there in this one for sure. 49ers can maybe get this one. I'll call it 17 to 14 here. Real low scoring game, I think, is what happens. I think the weather becomes a story here in this one with these winds. They also said to forecast of some snow flurries, but I don't really show that to be the case necessarily. I show sunny skies. So we'll see if we got the white field out there today, but I'm going to take the 49ers, but the Browns are going to be in several, at least 40%, maybe 60% of the money line parlays as well. Browns with a chance to pull off a major upset here with Sanders today, and that defense of the 49ers, we know they've been beat up all season. Okay, gotta go. Let's go to the afternoon games, Vikings and Seahawks. No, we are not putting the Vikings in any money line parlays today. In fact, you could actually get away with as one favorite here, maybe the Rams too. You might throw with those guys in just to bump it up a little bit. They're so solid here today. The Seahawks, 12.5-point favorite. I think they blow out the Vikings here in this one. And I think the Vikings are going to have real problems scoring anything here in this game. The total's dropped here as well in this one. It's 12 here and 42 right now. And man, I expect the Seahawks to kind of crush here in this one as the uh, Minnesota Vikings end up going here with a first time starter who's only had 5 attempts so far, but he's from Minnesota. But you just wish he was starting in his own. He's from the University of Minnesota in talking about Max Brosmer. Uh, he's been in the game a few times here this season. He's, I think, 3 for 5 passing or 5 for 8 passing, something like that here. But he's going to be in big trouble here in this one. I like Seattle to probably crush here today. I got to figure they get it done. And I'm thinking 20, maybe somewhere in the 28 to let's call it 27 to 13. That'll get you. That'll keep it under here, but I like them to crush and cover the spread. So I like the Seahawks to win by about 2 touchdowns here. I'll call it 27 to 13. Bills and Steelers. I got the Steelers in at least, again, 40, 50, 60%, maybe even a little more of the money line parlays here against Buffalo. The Steelers can get the upset here today against the Buffalo Bills in another possible low-scoring game with cold, wintry, light conditions here on November the 30th. How about it? We've got some December weather here in this one. In Pittsburgh here, 36 degrees, but I think it's going to be relatively clear, or overcast skies here. But I like Pittsburgh here. I like them to bring the defense in this one and really give the Buffalo Bills a hard time. We know Buffalo, look, they're on the borderline of the playoffs, crazily enough here. Pittsburgh as well. They're actually ahead of Buffalo in the standings as a division leader at 6-5. Buffalo 7-4 coming in right now. But look, I think Buffalo here is going to be a little bit in trouble. I think with Rodgers here healthy, he'll be in the shotgun mostly here, and I think they can possibly win this game. And I think the Bills, I'm actually going to kind of give them the nod here. I think somewhere right in the range of maybe 23 to 21 or so. I like the Steelers here. Now it could be the other way too. The Bills could win this one in that range too. I think it'll be right there. Maybe it comes down to a field goal or a coin flip at the end. And then the conditions here in Pittsburgh with Buffalo on the road, I think Pittsburgh's live for an upset. I'll take them to win 23 to 21, but just know I think it's going to be right in there, and I think it's going to be live here for the dog at least to get the money officially as my play. I'll call it 23-21 Steelers to get the win. Hey, we're up to 75 of you, but the show's only got a couple of minutes left, so I got 2 games to go. Raiders and Chargers. I think the Chargers get the blowout win here against the Raiders today. The Chargers kind of owning the Raiders ever since the Raiders put up 60-something on them a couple seasons ago. Chargers have won and covered the last 3 meetings between the two. Chargers don't really look the team of a blowout here right now, but I think the Raiders are having all kinds of issues here now. Max Crosby can be getting in there. I think the Raiders can be getting in there and putting some more sacks here on Herbert, but man, too bad they don't have a Marion Hampton back. They're trying to get the running game going here right now, but I think for the Chargers, the key today will be Herbert and Kamani Vidal, but McConkey and Allen can have fine days, and the Chargers should be able to shut down actually Geno and this passing game. Really all you got is Trey Tucker out there. Lockett hasn't really been – he did come off early on. Bowers has a tough matchup. Chargers do well against tight ends. I think the Chargers do end up getting a crushing victory here. I'm going to say the Chargers win this one here in about the 27 to let's call it to 24 to 13 range here. I like it in an under. Chargers by 11 or so. That'll get the cover. 24-13 Chargers, like Chargers and under in this one. Sunday Night Football, Broncos and Commanders. I've got the Commanders in at least 40% of these money line, 30, 40, 50% of these money line parlays. Look, Denver's a much better team. They're 9-2, but Denver is almost assured the playoff berth right now, and they may even be able to still get that number 1 if they keep winning. But you know what? They're still looking up at the top of the standings at the Patriots with that great record. The Patriots are, hosting the Giants tomorrow. They should win that one. They're still 95% if they were to lose this game to make the playoffs. So watch out. This might be the Commanders' Super Bowl here, right here with Denver coming in. We know they have weaknesses on offense. I can't sell you on Washington. They've been terrible here But with Mariota in there in this role here against Denver, I think this one could work out for the Commanders. The Broncos make some really crummy games here overall. All right, top of the hours here. It's time to go, and I like I'll give the Broncos the benefit of the doubt to win this game, but I think it's going to be kind of an under situation here. Let's call it in the range. Let's call it 21-19 Broncos win, but Commanders get the cover in and under. That's going to do it here on Nuke the House. Enjoy the games, everybody. Don't forget, subscribe to our channel, NTH Sports Picks, and nukethehouse.com. Go over to our website. Stay tuned for the guys. They're up here up next on Nuke the House. Thank you to, we got the spam. The only person who commented was a spam. We got 80 of you in here watching. Thanks a lot, everybody. Let's send it over to the guys and get ready for the action here on Nuke the House with the live coverage here for nukethehouse.com.